here in Arizona for my show American Perspective today. I sat in a couple weeks ago for Jim Price, and I'm very grateful he allowed me to do that. I don't usually do lives. I've always taped my shows, not to edit. I don't edit, but just didn't really know of another way. And now I have Robert. He's back there, Chula Vista Live Data in California, and he has been an amazing partner and now my producer. So, Robert, thank you so much. I know you're off camera, but I just want to let you know, I appreciate you more than anything in this world. And you know why. It's 2025. We should all know how to run computers, but, we don't all know how. So anyway, we need people like Robert. And it's going to be a really great day, you guys. I'm going to share some things with you that's happening around the nation you may or may not have heard about with President Trump coming in. He's like a whirlwind as always. And it's just going to be a great 4 years. He's off to a really good start. And you know what we're going to do is we're going to actually start the top of the hour with a little bit of news from Trump himself. We'll just play a few seconds of it. We'll keep the graphic up, Robert, with the list of the Social Security money that's been being paid. If you have that one and we could put that together, let's bring that up. And so as he brings that up, let's see, we're going to probably pull it up too. And so, yeah, it is some interesting news for sure. I'm going to let you know while he's
very humble people. So, and
There
I
we go.
think that God is listening to the prayers. So you are in good hands. Thank you, sir.
Look at this, from 90 to 99, Social Security, 6,054,000 people. Well, that's okay. Maybe that's possible. 90 to 90, 99, maybe it's possible. It's a lot of people, though, at that. But people that live to 100 to 109, 4,734,000. Wow, that's a lot. That means over 100 years old. They have 4 million people. I don't know too many. I know
So let's
people
get
that
that
are doing
audio,
great in their
Robert. I'm
90s,
going to
but
go
not
over
too
a
many
couple more
people
things
over
on
100.
this
But
that we have up.
over
if you
100.
don't mind. So I'm getting a little bit of audio back on our second reel, I think. I don't know if it's on me or on you, but so President Trump brought this to our attention. Doge is ripping through our agencies like nobody ever has actually done before, probably in the history of our government. Apparently, we're finding out. And just a top, he went through the top of the list there, 90 to 99 years old. Now, my dad's 97. So 99 years old, God willing, he'll be in that first bracket, and getting Social Security at that age is still viable, right? I hope my dad's in the 100-year category here in 3 years. But when you're in the 120 to 129-year-old range, 3 million, it's almost 3.5 million people getting benefits. And how about 150 to 159 years old, 1.3 million people getting benefits still from our government, which clearly has no idea what they're doing if they can't even figure out they're paying 150-year-olds. This is outrageous, and we know that it needs to stop. So we're going to keep watching Doge and President Trump as they help correct our country as it should have been done years ago. So today, we've got a great guest. I met him a couple years ago at a Trump town hall. It was the first town hall Trump's ever done, actually, in that style. It was here at Dream City Church in Phoenix. I was grateful to be on the press risers that day, and you can catch that video on my YouTube channel at Patriot_Mom007, as you can find me on all the other channels that you guys go to regularly: Facebook, Instagram, Truth, Parlor, Rumble. And yeah, I've got videos up there. There'll be more to come now that we are kind of off and running in 2025. But Jorge Rivas, I met him and his lovely wife, Sally, at the end of that event through a mutual friend and of this show, Eddie Zuniga. You guys saw him at AmFest with Luca. And so Jorge is an amazing gentleman. I watched a video. We're going to see a little bit of that. And Robert, let's bring that 1 and 3 clips up now.
You are in good hands. Thank you, sir. My support for you is also, more than anything, is because you show so much love for this country. I have I have learned to appreciate, respect, and love this country so much because of the opportunities and what gives to everyone that comes here the opportunity to live the American dream. One of the reasons that many of us Latinos like about you is the straightforward way of talking that you have.
Isn't that the truth? Straightforward for sure.
I do not like when politicians try to make you hear or they try to tell you what they think you want to hear. Yeah. Just tell me the way it is, it's straightforward, and that's why I think I like you so much.
Right. We just want the truth. That's all we want from our
many
leaders.
Immigrants like myself or many other people who their fathers, parents, grandparents came here 100, 200 years ago, we all came from here for similar reasons. For security, for safety, for the opportunity to own our own business, and the opportunity to raise their kids and our families in a safe, stable environment.
That's right. And that's why I do it too, for my children and their future.
So
exactly.
That's why one of the reasons why we support you, and so many people support you, people that I know, they support you as well.
But the real reason is that I tweeted out, I saw they were giving him a hard time. And I tweeted out, this is a great couple, and I looked at him and I said, look at this couple. And they were giving him a hard time, and they were trying to do a boycott, because this other side is very vicious. They'll try and do boycotts.
Right.
So I said, you know what, it's not very presidential, but I'm going to do a tweet for Sammy and his beautiful wife. And you never saw lines like this ever before, and that's the reason. And I'll tell you, you've been great, and I appreciate. I hear the place is doing fantastic.
It's doing very well there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I have a few more things to mention.
Go ahead.
A little bit more, guys. Hang in there. This was really good. You gotta hear this.
Betty, my wife, and I were being blessed with three excellent young boys, three young men. They're doing very well in college. And I feel that at a rally over there, I decided to make a sign that says Latino support to be supported, because at that moment to be loved since they are 4, 5, 6 years old, help them in high school, helping them get through college. We're, like I said, we've been blessed. Our kids are graduating from high school and from college with honors. And I think that part of the problem that we're having nowadays, and so many people are looting, so much hate, breaking windows, stealing somebody else's property, is because the parents are doing a poor job in helping the kids.
Right. That is the truth, and he nailed that.
In helping the kids achieve their dreams, their goals. So if you are not there when they are very young, do not expect them to be a very good citizen when they get older. Yeah. So I feel that we as parents, we need to do a much better job at raising our kids, because if you are a person of either you're immigrant, you are minority, you are Hispanic or black person, if you are not helping your kids when they're very young, do not come with me 10 years, 15 years later and tell me that you have a sign for me to respect your sign that says Black Lives Matter.
Right. Yep.
If you
so
are
true.
being irresponsible, not helping your kids, I will suggest for you to take your sign, frame it, and put it in your house, in your living room, and look at it every day and care for your child when they're young.
That's right. You know what? So that was Jorge Rivas. He's running in Congressional District 7 in Southern Arizona, Tucson region. That's where he has his restaurant, Sammy's Mexican Grill, that President Trump tweeted about after he had received some terrible threats and some issues were happening for him and his wife and his family. President Trump, as always, is out really to help people, small business owners especially. People don't think so, but this is a perfect example of exactly where President Trump's heart is. And candidate Jorge Rivas, you could hear his voice about his family and children, and as a mom of 2 boys myself, young adults, you know, that is why we do some things in this arena, is the information and to help other people talk to them about, really helping their kids grow up to be strong adults, community leaders like Mr. Rivas is. And let me just tell you a little bit about him. He actually was born in El Salvador. And if you guys remember, some of us who were old enough in the 80s, we had a war there. And he fled to America where he was granted asylum. So this is the legal immigration process we're going to, touch on. He did become a naturalized citizen, and he immediately started working on his English and integrated into our country as best he could to make the best life for his family, which he has definitely done. And he married Betty when he was 29. They had 3 sons. They all worked with the family business, and they actually started in a food truck in Catalina, Arizona, a beautiful little area in the outskirts there. And they have gained, I think, national exposure, and everybody loves their restaurant. I know I've heard about it when I've been to Tucson a few times over the last 27 years. And I may have even stopped in there once. I think I might have. So we want to bring him on right now. He's been so patient today. Getting things started on the live side. He's been amazing. And thank you so much, Jorge, for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me. It is a pleasure and honor. And I'm looking forward to this interview and, share some time with you and with your audience.
Thank you. Well, so you're down in CD7. I know you have a Democrat, candidate running also Daniel Gutierrez. I know him. He helped me down in Yuma last year at an event I did, and he was candidate then, and he is again now. So that's our Republican candidate running against you. But tell us, really, I want you to share with everybody what, obviously, your ties to the community are a big reason you would want to run. That makes sense with the business and the family. But you have some really great ideas, I think, of where you want to go with your candidacy and if you're elected as congressman. And public safety is at the top of the list with then affordable housing and pre-K to 12 education. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the top items that you hope to change down there for your family, friends, and community members?
Yeah, thank you so much. One of the things that we notice nowadays in political world is that too many people that are running or that are already in power, in their respective offices, is that they do not have common sense. They do things that you, as a normal person running your own business or working for whatever, you say, what are these people thinking? I mean, why do they do that? I mean, you see everything that is happening with everything that the Trump administration is finding out. You said to yourself, how can they use our money so wastefully? I mean, why are they destroying this country? So more than anything, at this moment, what we need is people with common sense, people that, like myself, who has run a business for, in our case, for almost 30 years, where you have to show up to work every day. You have to be responsible. You got to be nice. You got to be honest, and that's what you need to do. Similar ideas, when you go into office, it's like we have the greatest example of President Trump. He's running a country not exactly as a business, but very similar to a business where you have to be responsible. You have to take care of other people's money. So here, not only in Arizona, but throughout the country, we have so many issues. One of them is, I ask people, what is your issue? What do you worry about in your community? And one of the things that they bring up is homelessness. They bring up drugs. They bring up kids not being ready for college, not getting the proper education that they should have.
Right.
As a father of 3 sons, since early age, I knew that it was very important for them to be educated and to get the grades that they needed so they can go to college. And my kids were the one that graduated from the University of Arizona. One had a 3.9 GPA.
Wow.
And the other one had I believe it was 4.0. So and you think, okay, these are kids that their parents are immigrants. So it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what your background is. But if you put a little bit of effort and you pay attention to your kid, they should be able to succeed. And the future of our country is on our younger generation. If we are not properly educated them, we are not giving the resources that they need then we'll be in a big trouble. And especially if we're not taking care of the border, we're not putting people in jail that are selling, transporting drugs. That's a really big issue. I know when President Trump talked to the president of China and he asked him, President uh, Xi or Xi, I think is his name, how is your drug problem in China? And the president of China says, we do not have a drug problem in China. And
Right.
I know many countries around the world do not have a drug problem. Why? Because as soon as they catch someone selling drugs or transporting drugs, they do what is appropriate, what is necessary to take care of that problem. And I think we in the United States, we need to be responsible enough. We cannot let 100,000 people die of fentanyl. That is unacceptable. We cannot let so many people out on the street that are doing drugs because there's so much drugs on our street. So there needs to be a responsibility. We need to do the right thing. It might be something that is not very popular. It might be something that it will take courage and not to be afraid. But I think I am the right person to help President Trump. I am the right person to help this district, this country, and this state. And I'm ready. I'm ready to start doing my job, and I'm ready to start running. Yeah, I'm pumped up.
Yeah, you are pumped up, and it comes through when you talk. I could hear your emotion in your voice when you
Yeah,
talk about the kids. I do get the same way.
right.
They're so important for what has been going on and what we've seen them do to the kids in America. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the last 4 years is a crime and a sin, and we parents who are really involved in our lives. You know, I'm of Middle Eastern descent. My dad's, from another country. He got his citizenship. He was naturalized also years ago, and as well as my relatives and his brothers and sister. And so they came too for a better life, and they want to make it safe for their kids. They don't want the
Mm-hmm.
fentanyl, the
Mm-hmm.
drugs. I
Hmm.
mean, we're on a border state, as you know, even more. You're 2 hours closer than I am,
Right.
and the danger of them even going around town here in Tempe or Phoenix, these concerts they go to, what happens to kids inadvertently with all the poisonings. You know, China's trying to kill off our population. I think it's pretty obvious now, if you haven't been paying
Mm-hmm.
attention till to this moment. That's what's happening. You know, we don't make
Mm-hmm.
fentanyl here and the precursors, and the cartels have banded together to come after us and our children. And so it's nice to hear that that's one of your top priorities. So important. And then also, you know, I do want to touch on, I played a couple of the clips before you came on of your town hall with President Trump, and that was before he was elected. That was I think, your last run, or was it 2 years ago? Was this in 23 or 24, this clip?
2020.
2020. Okay, thank you. It
Right.
was a while ago. Wasn't sure if
Right.
it was right after COVID, yes, or
Mm-hmm.
right when that was happening. And
Yeah.
so I want to ask you, your interaction with him was adorable. I mean, I watched it back a few times. It was so funny, but so important to hear what you had to say and to see how President Trump interacted with you. I think is important if people want to watch it. I'll have to throw the clip up later. I don't know, Robert, if you can grab it for me and throw it in the chat today on that YouTube channel. But if not, I'll do it later. Anyway, I want to know, did you meet him before that day? Had you met him in the back maybe before the show? And what happened there and then after with President Trump and your interaction?
Um, for people that do not know, we've been supporting President Trump since 2016. And we've been, compared to many other people that were afraid of speaking up or speaking out in an open scenario where you say exactly what you feel. We've been outspoken, and I think that has to do with the way that I grew up. That you have to say how things are at the moment, don't wait for later. Or when in 2016 I made a sign that says "Latino support Donald Trump." And that sign was brought by my wife to the convention center here in Tucson. And President Trump saw that sign and he brought my wife up to the stage. So that's where our relationship begins with President Trump. Later on, I was during the campaign, the Trump campaign called our restaurant and they ordered 250 burritos from our restaurant. When we delivered it to an event in Phoenix, White House staff came and got us, and it said the President Trump wants to meet you guys. And we met my wife and I and my three boys. We met him in a separate room, in a back room, just the five of us. So there has been a relationship between us and the president candidacy, and then later the president also. The Trump campaign called our restaurant and said that the president would like for you and your wife to do or to make a television commercial for his campaign. So he sent his TV crew from Virginia to our restaurant, and if you find it, you can find it on YouTube, where my wife and I do a television commercial for the president, and where at the end he says, "This is President Trump, and I approve this measure," something along the line. So yeah, to answer your question, I just give you those examples because it is important for people to understand that our relationship, quote unquote, with the president has been one of our support of 100% without expecting anything back, in return from him. Some people will say, "Oh, how much does the president or the campaigns pay you for you guys to do that?" No, $0. There is no money coming in from them, and we are not expecting anything in return. We are doing it because it is the right thing to do. So yeah, before that, I was invited to a round table. I have met him a couple of times for a minute or two, but even if I had, I think there is a connection between the president and I, because I think I don't know exactly the reason why he loved this country so much, but I know why I love this country, and I think it is my responsibility to do whatever is necessary to keep this country great for future generations. I think this country has given me so much, and I think it's like so many people in the past who at one point or another either put their life on the line or they did great things to keep this country great. I think it's our turn. It's our moment to say, I'm going to step up. I'm going to do what is necessary so this country doesn't go down like we knew that it was going down right before the election. But now, thanks to President Trump and God saving his life, I think we are back in track, meaning that we have another chance to make sure that we maintain it, we keep it going forward, and with God blessing, we will be able to do that.
Wow. I mean, honestly, you could do the whole show because everything you say is so perfect. I barely have to narrate over here. That you took the words out of my mouth. I mean, to hear how he is working with you and how he met your family and kind of brought you in to his world, so to speak, to support you in the business and what had happened, and then to maintain that relationship, that says a lot. People always call him a racist and all other, ridiculous, obviously untrue names. They say that he doesn't, want anyone from other countries in our country. And I'm first generation born, and all my relatives are from another country. And I know that's not true. I know that's not true after meeting him and spending this time with him over the years and seeing what he's really about. He champions small business, whether you're born in America, whether you're born in another country and you've come here through asylum, process when it's done properly, and then gaining your citizenship. So I want Robert, we're going to play one more clip. It's a little bit long, you guys. It's a 4-minute clip from this town hall. It's touched on a little bit about what Jorge just went over, but I want you to hear it in his own words, and I want you to see President Trump's reaction and response in real time. So go ahead, Robert, with that.
Many of these people are very humble people. So, and I think that God is listening to the prayers. So you are in good hands. Thank you, sir. My support for you is also, more than anything, is because you show so much love for this country. I have learned to appreciate, respect, and love this country so much because of the opportunities and what gives to everyone that comes here the opportunity to live the American dream. One of the reasons that many of us Latinos like about you is the straightforward way of talking that you have.
Oh, this is number one.
I do not like when politicians try to make you hear or they try to tell you what they think you want to hear. Yeah. Just tell me the way it is, it's straightforward, and that's why I think I like you so much. Many immigrants like myself, or many other people who their fathers, parents, grandparents came here 100, 200 years ago, we all came from here for similar reasons, for security, for safety, for the... Highway, and it was for sale, and we refinanced our house. We bought the land. A few years later, we submitted a development plan to build our own building. And while that was happening, I moved out of the lunch wagon. I moved into a fixed establishment where I was paying rent. And then while that was, we were renting, we were building our own place. And in 2011, we moved into our own building. Ready. So thanks to God, we not only we own our own business, but we own our own building. And we've been grateful because my kids have been able to help us when we were not in school on weekends, and we will be able to help them, helping with college, helping with anything that they needed. So yeah, the business, we had the business for almost 29 years, well, almost 30 years, like I said, and is being part of our American dream.
That's amazing. That is the American dream story. Exactly what President Trump talks about all the time, trying to bring back and restore to Americans and those who are coming for the American dream, like the Rivas family did so many years ago. And so Robert has that last clip that I wanted to listen to, and then we'll...
and did a rally over there. I decided to make a sign that says Latino support Donald Trump, because at that moment the media and a lot of people were saying Latinos do not like Donald Trump. But I said, that's not true. I said, they are not going to keep me quiet. I'm going to keep talking. I love you too. Your wife? My wife understands. She loved the president, so we're good. So after having people link our name, our personal names with our business, we got a big backlash. People attacking us. I know. But we stay strong. The last few years, I've been very involved. Not only in the community, but also I'm a member of what we think it is the most important or the biggest Republican club in Arizona, which is the Saddlebrook Republican Club. I know that we have some members here. And like I said, we've been very involved. Just yesterday, my wife and I organized a big car parade, a Trump parade on Highway 77 on Oracle Road in Tucson. A lot of people came over, hundreds of cars. Even some of our friends, Latino friends from Nogales, drove almost 2 hours to come to the parade. So there is a lot of support. Good show. Great show. Many of them, after I mentioned to them that I had the privilege to come to meet with you, they said, make sure you tell the president not only that we respect him, we love them, we'll be voting for him, but more than anything, Mr. President, having a small business and talking to hundreds and thousands of people a week, I know that a ton of people are praying for you, and I know that many of these people are very humble people. So, and I think that God is listening to the prayers, so you are in good hands. Thank you, sir. My support for you is also, more than anything, is because you show so much love for this country. I have, I have learned to appreciate, respect, and love this country.
Wow. So that's really the people that we want to join America. I mean, Mr. Rivas running for Congress in CD7 with a family-owned business for years in Tucson, Sammy's Mexican Grill. I mean, he loves and respects our country. He integrated here years ago. His boys have gone to college. They're working in the business. They're going to be productive community members there or wherever they end up with their families. And that's really just what I think we all want, including, if you didn't know, those who travel here from other countries who do get asylum or otherwise become U.S. citizens. You know, people think they're so different from those who grew up in America, who just want a sovereign nation, safety and security for our family. Politicians, elected officials who represent us in helping and supporting our dreams and goals, like they did with his restaurant Sammy's. And I think that when you're looking for candidates, you know, what I try to do here is to hear from them maybe a little bit differently than you would at the Republican Women's Club. You know, there are a lot of speeches made, but to hear in his own words where he stands, to be so happy to have been become a U.S. citizen and work towards the goals he's created for him and his family. I think it's so important to hear that side of candidates. So I encourage you guys to get on his website also, and let's tell us where we can find you online for your campaign.
Yeah, my website is Rivas number 4, so Rivas4 Congress.com, and that's also my website, so you can get in touch with me. And real quick, I want to also mention that sadly, in this country, we have for 70, 60, 70 years, we have been putting God to the side. And I think we need the leaders nowadays, especially with Donald Trump, you're seeing them mentioning God one more time. And I think that's very important. We need to go back and find our values, find what is good, and take care of each other. And I think if we have God in our side, that will be much easier. I think
Yeah.
my message to people out there, whether you are independent or Democrat, that there is something that unite us, and you know that's the love for our family, caring for one another. I think we need to, at the end, we need to put the brand name aside, whether, you know, like I said, Republican, Democrat, Independent, and vote for the issues, vote for people that care for this nation, and respect each other. And I think that will you know bring us a long way. I hate when people are in Washington, they start fighting, you know, over little stupid things. That's not what it's about. You know, it's about taking care of business, and it's about you know, keeping this nation great. Because for me and for so many people who grew up in third world countries, we know firsthand that this is, if it's not the greatest, is one of the greatest country in the world, and we need to take care of it. Because if we let it go down, there is a movie that say there is no place to run, there is no other, there is no other country to run, so we have to take care of it.
That is so, you're right. This is it. You know, I mean, firsthand, it's true. People think that they can trash our country physically by literally throwing trash everywhere and letting homeless people live on our streets, you know, as if that's okay for anybody, for both sides of society. For the person who it's dangerous for them, it's treacherous, and it's not good for them, obviously, and it's not good for the citizens of the community. So we need to not trash our country. We need to, you know, keep it running as perfectly as we can as community members who want to keep a future for our children and a place that is beautiful for them to live, because that's what we grew up in. And I think it's important that we continue that for them, as you mentioned. So I think we have, there we go. We can see him, and we can find Mr. Rivas at his website. It's right there. You can see, and oh yeah, the glasses. You know, I always pretend I don't need my glasses, but I still need them every single time. Darn it, I try
Yeah.
to the very minute, the end.
Oh,
So it's going to be, yeah, go
before I
ahead.
forget, they told me to tell you happy birthday.
Oh gosh, thanks you guys. Yeah, last night I went
Someone,
out.
a little bird told me that it was your birthday, so a big hug.
Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much. Yeah, yesterday was my birthday. My boys took me out for a beautiful dinner, and I have got actually that little reel up online last night. It was such a wonderful, and some other friends from Canada, actually, some amazing Canadian friends that live here part of the year, who do follow immigration laws and have to leave at the 6 month mark exactly every year. They took me out the night before for a dinner and brought me this beautiful bouquet I put up online. You got to check it out. So you want to find Mr.
You
Rivas though?
you
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
look great for 39.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've been 39 for like 20 some years now. So like 26 years. So still 39 going strong. But you can find this candidate for CD7 for the congressional seat down there at Rivas, the number 4, congress.com. Check that out. I don't know if you need volunteers, but everybody usually does. So I would suggest going on his website, signing up for his newsletter. You can find out where he's going to be on the campaign trail throughout his candidacy. And then you can also check out what he stands for. You can check out that video that I played. Yes?
I want to say something real quick that having a small business, I talk to people, a lot of people all the time. And sometimes I talk to Democrats, of course, and I ask them, why do you vote Democrat? And they say, oh, because my grandma or my mom is a Democrat, so I feel that I have to vote Democrat. And I want to tell people that it is time to move that way of thinking to the side and vote for your values, vote for your family, vote for your future. Because the Democratic at one time, it was a great party, especially when we had John F. Kennedy or people of that nature. But if John F. Kennedy was alive today and running, he wouldn't be a Democrat. A Democrat wouldn't want him because he would be too conservative to be a Democrat. So let's my encouragement is I'm not talking to you as a Republican. I am the message is I'm giving you is um, as a fellow citizen. Let's vote for our values. Let's vote for our family, and try to consider me as your future congressman because I will take care of business and I will do the right thing no matter what party affiliation you have.
Wow. So I was going to finish too by saying I do have a little extra info on it. A common sense leader who is ready to start working for you.
Right.
That's how he can be described. And again, look him up on his website at Rivas4, the number 4congress.com. See how you can get involved, donate if you can. They always need help. These things are not free. They shouldn't cost as much as they do. But we should just go back to shaking hands at the train depots, and people should just come out and hear people. And person to person, I think, is always best to know who you are electing and hiring with your tax dollars to represent you. And so let's do what we need to make sure that that happens. And that means getting yourself involved by learning about who you're voting for, potentially sharing that with your friends and family if they don't have the time or don't want to be involved in that respect. But I do want to thank you, Jorge. It was so nice to
Oh, you're
see you
welcome.
again here.
Yes,
And
definitely.
you're welcome during your candidacy. If there's something you want to share, you give us a call. We'd be happy to shout out for you any events or anything happening along the way. Or if you want some time back again, let us know. We would love to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. And, we'll talk again for sure when I get to Washington, because I know for sure that's when I'm going to be helping everyone that is being abandoned for so many years.
That's right. That's right. You're right. And we need more people, more fighters like you. We just had Abe Hamada here in our CD8. My CD actually, he just went into Congress and he's representing us well already. He's doing a lot. So we need more in Arizona of conservative, like-minded people who really just put family, their faith, and our country and community before everything else like you have done. So we'll be watching you along the way. We'll see you soon when you're up here in Phoenix. You let me know. I'll come to an event. Hopefully see you and your lovely wife soon. So take care.
Thank you so much.
Okay, talk
God
soon.
bless.
Bye-bye. Thank you. You too. So you guys, amazing person. I love talking to candidates. I haven't done it for a long time. When I started 4 years ago in this randomly this area, I did talk to a lot of candidates right here in town in Scottsdale, Peoria, Cave Creek, and the surrounding areas, because I really think it's important. Not everybody can get out to all the meet and greets that happen on for the next 2 years till 2026 election. And so I thought it was, if I could do it, I didn't mind going. I wanted to learn. And so I started, talking with them. And a lot of them now are in office. Karen Warner's in office, Amy Carney's in office, Pamela Carter's in office. Uh, Mark Fincham's in office. These are people that I spoke with 4 years ago when they were just either had been in a little bit of Arizona politics or newly coming in, and they'd worked all these years, and now they're in office representing us, and we are grateful to have them there. So many good legislators and elected officials. You just have to really try to get to know them. And if it's not in person because you're so busy, and we understand why you would be these days, then there's shows like this. Hopefully you will find me at Patriot_Mom007 on all the platforms except for X at PMom007. And you can check back on these shows that we do with candidates and digest them easily on your own schedule, because if you don't know, then you can't really vote. And we'd like you to be really informed when you're voting, because it's pretty important who we hire for those years and put into office and pay their salaries, because they work for us. And we should never forget that. So we're going to finish. It is Friday. I think I'm going to be here on Fridays. That looks like the plan. Robert at Chula Vista Live Data has agreed to work with me as a producer. He's in the back today. He's been doing amazing for me. And at the last minute, always, I'm one of those rush around kind of person. So not always giving him things way ahead of time. So he is a hero for sure in my eyes, and is the most helpful and patient. Very important patience in a man with dealing with women, and he's very patient. So his mom did something right, because he takes what I do and just sort of makes sense of it and helps me make sense of it so I can tell you guys about it. So Robert, I love you to death, and I don't say that very often, certainly not on camera in public. Anybody who knows me can tell you that. So we're going to finish on our Fridays with the MAGA Minute. If you guys haven't been following Carolyn Levitt, she's 27-year-old. She's our new communications director and press secretary for the White House and for President Trump. She's been representing him before he was elected very well on the major news outlets. We watched her, and now she's like, I don't know, been doing this for 40 years, yet she's 27 and been raising a family, and she is something to be reckoned with. And she really tells it straight. She gives us the facts very clearly and succinctly, and yet she covers everything every day. She's accessible to everyone. She's opened up the newsroom at the press briefings to new outlets who never had an opportunity. I want to give a shout out, and I'm going to send him this link to Jordan Conradson. He was here in Arizona for many years. He's a young man when I met him. He did all the circuits here also for the meet and greets in the political world and the candidate, events. And I met him when he was with Gateway Pundit. And now he's in the press briefings in the White House. I've been seeing him. I mean, it's like, as a mom of boys, it's really proud to see somebody do that who was younger and then really worked hard to get there and get a seat at his young age still. So congratulations, Jordan. We're really proud of you here in Arizona. I can say I knew you when. And now you're chatting with Carolyn Levitt every day while she brings us everything President Trump is doing 24/7 practically every single day. The first 30 just passed yesterday on my birthday. It was a great birthday and a great first 30 days for him in office. And so we're going to listen to her MAGA Minute. This is from, I think, week 2 of his administration. And we'll be bringing you these regularly so we can play catch up. So if we've got that ready, Robert, we can go into that last Instagram clip.
A minute. This week, President Trump became the first sitting president to ever attend a Super Bowl, declared February 9th Gulf of America Day, signed an executive order rolling back Biden's push to phase out plastic straws, secured the release of Pennsylvania teacher and great American Mark Fogel from Russian captivity, bringing the total number of hostages released to 11 since he took office just 4 weeks ago. He implemented a 25% global tariff on steel and aluminum imports to protect our steel and aluminum industries from unfair foreign competition. He introduced the Fair and Reciprocal Tariff Plan to counter unfair trade practices by our foreign trading partners. He established the Make America Healthy Again Commission to fight chronic disease, ended COVID vaccine mandates in schools, and established the National Energy Dominance Council. We are going to drill, baby, drill. See you for next week's MAGA Minute.
Wow. So that's
Things have never been busier here at the White House. President Trump delivered on many more of his promises to you, the American people. Let's roll through this historic week in today's MAGA Minute.
Yeah.
This week.
So she does that every day. She doesn't mince words. She doesn't use a binder. She doesn't have tabs to refer to. She literally speaks competently, comprehensively, and coherently every single day for never 10 minutes, usually closer to 40 or 50. She covers every topic happening from the day before or that day of what President Trump is up to here and abroad. For the American people, doing his work that he promised to do. And she does it with really grace, beauty, for heaven's sakes, in high intelligence, obviously, and just a real desire, I think, to connect with everyone on the other side of the camera who is looking for the real-time information about what's happening in our country today, which so far seems to be pretty positive. I do have some people lately who have said that I scare them. And they've known me for 40 years, and I'm waiting to hear why. I actually asked them, why do I scare you? I'm curious. I can't imagine what that answer would be, but we all know that that happens. And anyone who doesn't want these positive, adjustments to America, I'm not going to say that scares me, but it concerns me for sure, because my goal is to have a wonderful planet, community, state, country for my kids. And I don't know who doesn't want that. And in order to have those things, law and order is pretty important. And following the guidelines in place with our statutes in our cities, states, and certainly federally, also important. And if there's another way to do that without following the laws, I would love to hear that theory. But as far as I know, we really need to adhere to law and order, because without it, things become chaotic. People do what they want. Cities burn down, even though they tell us it's mostly peaceful, as the city was literally burning in the background. We all remember that. They fool us into thinking, or a lot of people into thinking, that everything's okay and you don't need to do anything. Hey, just vote Democrat, and it'll be all good. Look what we've done, 50 years ago, when we had, some common sense agendas. Don't look what we've been doing the last, 4 years, and then plus Obama's years, as they started rolling these over the top, ideas out of what America should look like according to them. We really just want it to look like it did, upon inception. It was people finding land for their families, making communities, building communities, networking with one another. With the Pony Express back then, nobody had an iPhone, right? We couldn't just call people. We couldn't just video chat with people. They ran horses all over the country to connect, and they did it successfully for the most part. Always hiccups, you have to overcome things to build things. That's just a fact, whether it's a building or the dollhouse in the backyard. And this is no different. It's America. We have to keep building, and we have to build for Americans. And if you are someone who wants to come here, like my family did, like, Mr. Rivas did with his family, and built something beautiful for his community. There are ways to do that. And it's not a perfect process by any means. It's an expensive process. I have many friends from other countries, Northern and Southern, who have gained their citizenship over the years. It takes 8 to 10 years and it's thousands of dollars, and that may not be right. So hopefully they'll look into that. But for now, we need to follow that method, and we need to know who's coming into our country and who's mingling amongst our children in public places and spaces and private spaces, as well as they're allowed in bathrooms for various reasons by various county and state officials like California and other overly progressive states who don't seem to put the safety and security of their people at the top of their list. And that's really, I think, all we want. So, I mean, we're going to talk about this again. Actually, I'm going to have another show on Fridays. I think we're going to do 2 hours. I've got another guest coming up at the next hour. We'll be back today with Leslie Shepard talking about the Board of Supervisors meetings here in Maricopa County. Always a hot topic around the country for all the states involved in local, happenings. Like if you want to know what's going on with your money, go to the Board of Supervisors. So I always say, you got to educate yourself. You need to get involved in your community. Starts in your neighborhood with the neighbor next door. Find out who they are. Then you go to your city councils. You look up your counties and at .gov in your states, and you can find the meetings. You can find out who to talk to. You can meet your elected officials who you may have voted for or not yet, but who may be running again, and you might want to cast a vote. Make sure that they're the ones you want in the hiring positions, right? Because you're hiring them, and they're not doing us a favor. We've done them a favor by hiring them, and they need to, in return, give us the expectations that we as Americans have who are paying their salaries. And that is to serve us in the best possible way for our families, positive development and best future for our children. And so you guys, if you like this, please join us back here. We're going to reset. We'll be back. I don't know. This is not exactly the flow, but it's getting close. And I appreciate you bearing with me. It's always a learning experience every single day. And if you can't learn one thing a day, then, you're not awake yet, probably. But I've just learned 3 things this afternoon with Robert at Chula Vista Live Data. He is a wealth of knowledge, and I hope everybody has somebody like him. I'm trying to hire him out, so we're gonna free up some of his time maybe, and maybe somebody else can hire him because he is well worth it for sure. But if you guys want to follow me anywhere other than where we are today, you can find me at Patriot_Mom007 on Facebook, Instagram, Parler. I'm back on that because they are up and running with full free speech. And YouTube and Rumble also. You can find the videos, these lives, past videos. Just did America Fest in Phoenix. Haven't got those all up yet, but they'll be coming. So check out some fun, shorter interviews with a few great people from around the country making it better. On X, you can find me at PMom007. They're not as user-friendly for me, but they're a necessity apparently, and Elon is trying to improve it. So hopefully that'll continue because it's not exactly perfected yet. There's still a little bit of censorship going on over there, but we know he's working hopefully to also make that better, right? And our platforms that we have to use every day to connect these days, unless you call me on the phone with the landline. We still have those in my house. But thank you guys for being here today. It's Patriot Mom 007. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, our guest, Jorge Rivas, running for Congress in CD7. Look him up too. Find his information in the description and see how you can get involved to donate or help his campaign this time around, and trying just to make our state a better place with conservative values for everyone. And we'll be back. And so Robert's going to take us out. Thanks.